So we are here with Simona Pelin and with Zach Erdem, speaking about the American dream as a theme for our cover story. Tell me, Simona, how did you get to the United States? What made you come here, and how did you start your career here?
Well, as you know, I was born in a communist socialist country, and my dream is to live free and become somebody one day. So I had the opportunity to come to America, but of course I came like every other Romanian with a bag full of dreams and with maybe a couple of $100. And I was very lucky that I got interviews MetLife, one of the major insurance company, and after many discussion I started working for them. And I built up my career, of course, in the beginning in Romanian community because I did not speak English. And then I came with a couple of ideas how to create jobs for immigrants in New York State, and I became a manager. And then I decided to open my own company a couple of years later. And I'm very lucky that I have a great clientele who become also my friends. Actually, this is the subject of today's meeting. That Zach is my friend and also my client.
How hard was it for you in the first few years to overcome, maybe not speaking English, not having money, not having connections? How did you approach these issues?
Well, I stayed in a hotel when I came a couple of days, and also I have a child, Patrick. And when you are a single mother with a child, you become very inventive and creative. My son gave me a lot of hope and a lot of energy to move mountains. I start in a very drastic condition, I should say. I was living in a basement, and then also I create a hobby for myself called real estate, and every second what I had free in my hands, I took my son in the car and we start looking for real estate for houses to renovate them and resell them. 7 years I did not take vacation, and for 5 years I did not see my parents. I was dreaming about my mother's face. I basically, if somebody asks me what I like to do, will be a tough question because all my life I did things what I need to do. I never did something for fun. I didn't have the luxury. Like a lot of people was asking me, oh, you're not a bit depressed? I said, I would love to, but I never have this luxury. Between a child, my business, my new hobby, real estate, I did not have 1 hour free time to do, let's say, a facial. So that required a lot of determination and persistence and also courage, because now looking back, I was saying, oh my God, I can never do the same thing again. Takes a little bit craziness, and I think that comes with age. Yeah.
When you were young, of course.
Yeah.
Not that you are old now. And when did your first big break come? When did you make your first important deal? How did it happen? With a house, with an insurance policy?
Well, my first big change, let's say, in my life and career is when I became a manager with MetLife. Mm-hmm. That, of course, put me in a different level, socially, financially, and then I was able to stop a little bit and just look around me and say, wow, thank you, God, that I made it here. Second one, it's when I flipped, let's say, my first house. Mm-hmm. That was a great experience for me, also like a person, and spiritually, I could say, and also financially. I mean, it was something what I create, and was good that somebody decided to buy it the way how I did it. So that was something what made me go to the next level. Mm-hmm. I said, let me just do another one and another one, and that just keep me going.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And Zach, you're known as the King of the Hamptons, which is quite a nice title to have and to hold. How did you make it to the States and why? What was the reasoning behind it?
Let's start in the beginning. Like I just heard Simona's story. It's basically we're all immigrant, and it's quite same stories that we all have the hope to come to this country and do better living. I didn't expect that I was gonna come this far, and back in Turkey, as most of people know, that I'm from Turkey, and I was born in Erzincan, and small place all the way in the east. And grow up as a shepherd. I was waking up in the morning early, 7 a.m. Until 7 p.m. I will take all my animals to the mountain and be responsible for them all summer long until the snow comes down. So that was basically my job all summer long, and helping just the family. I was kind of like, you're living in the village, has nothing to offer for you. There is a couple houses, everyone is related. My mom, my mom's sister, and my father and his brother, all kind of 5, 6 houses and nothing else. And basically, once you get older, you're looking for different ventures. I didn't want to die as a shepherd back in Turkey. I was like, I have to do something for my life. But the family, of course, doesn't want to lose you. I mean, I was a good asset for my family to just go to mountain and help them as a shepherd. It was a big deal. And the one day I left, I woke up and I ran away from the village to Istanbul.
You just woke up one day and you ran away?
I had to. I was 17-year-old. It was about time for me. I did not want to be in the village anymore. I didn't want to be shepherd anymore. It was too much. I did from 11 to 17. I think it was enough for me to go out from the village. So I went to Istanbul and I was keep searching how to find a way to go to America, that we all dream about it. Everyone, I'm sure, I mean, many people who wakes up finds out dollar is stronger than lira. We all want to come to America. So I found out the way to come. They told me I have to be a student, the best easy way. Back then there was no border crossing or anything like, I mean, we didn't know those things. I didn't know those things. I had to be a student and to come here and as a student. I decided to go to college. I applied for all the top college. On the way to come to here, you have to go to good school. I couldn't get in any colleges, any good colleges, due to my financials, due to my education. I didn't have education that I can be proud of. So I'm like, okay, this is, I think it's gonna be end. And then my last choice was somewhere close to Istanbul. And basically I made that school that everyone could make it. So I'm like, as I said, I cannot be proud of that and go to that school. So it was, for me, it's just a step to just attend the school, stay there for a couple of months. At least I can show the embassy that I'm in school. So I'm gonna go and come back for my study again. But this was just to find a way to go to America. It wasn't my intention to go to school, get education like tourism management, tourism hotel. I got a visa, then get on the first thing actually was shocking everybody. When I applied for a visa, first agent said, there's no way you can get a visa for this school. The school wasn't something that the government will give visa for it. I'm like, I don't have money to go to Columbia. I don't have money to go to Harvard. All those schools, they're way too big for me. Just get me something that I can step in America. They said, this is not gonna happen. You just need to go waste your time and money that you saved it 2-3 years. It's gonna go away. I said, I'll take the chance. I wanna risk the money. I wanna risk all the stuff that I made it. I wanna try it. They were trying to not to do, like, go stay 1 more year, save some more money, you'll get another school, better school. I said, no, there's no time to waste. I want to go. I was insisting, and then it's okay, it's your loss. They were like, okay, $2,000 for this, $2,000 for all the money and everything, and they found it school for me. And I went to the interview. The interview came in, and there was hundreds of people on the line. Everyone was just coming out from the building. It was like red. Everyone was like, oh no, they didn't. I walked in and I looked nice, and
normal, like handsome boy walked in front of this guy.
Did you speak English?
No English.
Okay.
At all. That was actually the biggest issue in my life, that I wish I speak some English. So the guy was like, 3 questions only. It was like, why do you go to America? And how long are you gonna stay? And it was very simple. Then he said that, okay, in 2 weeks you'll receive your visa. First, I walked out. I was throwing myself on the grass like little kid in the candy shop. And I'm like, I got it. So I run to this agency. I said, listen, he told me 2 weeks. He said, no, you probably understood. You probably misunderstood. He didn't say that. I'm like, I swear he said 2 weeks. I understood he spoke Turkish. Yeah. He said, no, I guarantee you. So I said, okay, he broke my heart. I went back to the school again. 2 weeks later, my brother called me with some yellow envelope came from this American embassy. I said, it's probably they're gonna say you got denied. I said, open. He opened, he said that they said you have visa now. I didn't believe it. I'm like, I got out from school. I took my little suitcase. I said goodbye to everybody. I said, I go to America. I'm not coming back. Everyone was like, no, you're not going. You're not. It's all, be careful. It's probably fake. It's live. I'm like, no. I left the school middle of the season, came, and that was true. I had my visa and find a way to get some money from friends, families, anybody I know to buy some ticket and go to America. One way. It was the only way I could afford it. And I came in New York City. I ended up in JFK. I stayed 2 days in the airport. Couldn't get out from it. I was kind of scared and tired and didn't know where to go and find my way somehow. I never seen black people in my life. I never seen Chinese. I never seen Spanish. And it was just kind of coming from the little village with animals all in my mind. And then such a big place that I was dreaming about it. And now you are in New York City. Hard to believe, I thought I was in the dream, and stayed 2 days in the airport, and they told me I had to leave. So they took me out from airport, they put me in the bus, landed in Grand Central. That was the place I came in. I remember I paid $13.50 for a bus back then. That was it. I had $7, some change left in my pocket, but I didn't care about it. I was like keeping, touching myself, like pinching myself, like, this is America, that's where you want it. So don't be scared, you're gonna be here, you're gonna make it, you're gonna be this. I was giving myself hope and power, energy. I'm like, I cannot give up from here. I mean, yes, true, where am I gonna stay? I go around the Central Park, and that was it. I stay a couple months in the streets, look for a job, didn't happen, and then I end up in Hamptons, go to 75 Main. First I stopped at the beach, then came back to village, was looking for some place to get a McDonald's to eat, but there was no McDonald's on Main Street, so I ended up at 75 Main. I sat down at the bar, I asked for how much is the Diet Coke and burger. I never been in a restaurant in my life. It was probably the first restaurant I walked into in my life. And I think the guy was behind the bar, was a manager. He said, don't worry about it, just eat it, it's okay. I'm like, no, I need to know, I don't have much money. It's like, it's okay, eat it. And they gave me those, and I told them that I was looking for a job. And he said that, let me talk to boss, maybe she might help you. So then I was sitting on one side of the 75 Main bar, it's, in the center. On the other side, there was a lady was watching me. Kind of old lady and short hair like yours, and watching me and smiling, and I was smiling at her. So 10 minutes when I finished my burger, the guy came, he said, you're hired. It was the best thing I heard after 4, 5 months, 6 months, that being on streets and all kind of stuff. I mean, being on streets back then, they're dangerous too. I got beat up, I got so much stuff, but I could never share with my family. I didn't want to make anyone upset. So I'm like, this was the best news I heard. And then they want me to be bartender because I look kind of handsome back then. They were like,
you still do.
Owners like, this guy has to be behind the bar. He's a really handsome boy, and it will make full of people in their bar. I said, no, I don't speak English. I don't know drinks. Please give me something in the back, cleaning or to do the dishes. Manager was insistent. I said, I'm gonna go to back. I left my dishes, go to back in the kitchen, started on my own, started washing dishes. And I just want to get something that put my head and get up on my feet. I knew I was going to do well. I knew I was going to, no matter what, I wasn't going to give up. And the job was quite interesting. Basically, and as you know now, having multiple restaurants, having 200 plus employees, back then, I think it helped me a lot to start in the bottom. Washing dishes, getting all the deliveries, even like receiving all deliveries. Like I used to go downstairs, get all those old products, moved out, put the new ones in the bag. So it's basically, you make sure that everything goes properly. So I learned everything in the beginning, on the liquor, from the delivery, from the including the washing the dishes and everything else. Like, everyone thinks, oh, wash this. Make sure that tray is full. That one tray costs $1, almost 88 cents to wash all the dishes. Every time you press that tray, either one dish in it or a full dish, costs you 88 cents. So these are all money. I learned all those things. You know that those things costing you money. It's not just being a dishwasher. Learning every single thing, it's so important in the business. Like Simona started and all in the beginning, opening her own store. That's how it starts. And it makes you successful. I could be owning a restaurant. Like my friend, you probably know him too. He opened a restaurant 2 years ago in the Hamptons. He failed, lost $1 million.
Why do you think he failed?
So because he was never in the restaurant business. He is a friend of mine. He watched me and all my other friends open a restaurant in Albany. He's gradual. He's probably going to lose his business too. They'd never been in the restaurant business. He's in the real estate business. How can you make the changes unless you have a strong team, unless you have a backup, strong money? He didn't have any of those. He just was in construction business and he want to be like on the flash, nice dressing in a nice restaurant, meeting people, saying that I own this place, which was always my complete opposite side. I never was on that. I never said even, look, I owned one of the major nightclubs in the Hampton. One of the issue we're having, every single person walks in the club, they own my club. They will keep saying that I own this club. I was never saying that I own this club.
Good.
Ever, but good thing, I was waiting for until 6 a.m., carrying the boxes, the packet cash, going home. I don't care who says that they own the club. I own that club. You can say as much as you want. All they want to do is get a beautiful girl. That's all they care. They just want to get a nice, beautiful girl. So they want to say that I own this club to go to this. I don't even care what people say in that. I look in the end. I will stay there, close my club, and take my stuff. So same thing, my friend. Didn't have any experience. He lost $1 million. Why? Because you have to know this business. He doesn't probably know what the dishwasher. He used to call me, what am I going to do? The dishwasher doesn't work. What am I going to do? Electric, the fridge is not working. I mean, this is all going to happen when you open the business that you have no clue about it. And
what did you do after your first job? How did you grow from there? Because you started very low, which is good to get to know the bottom of the business in order to get to the top of the business.
Our mutual friend. So 75 Main was a home for me. Then Nello, Romanian guy.
Romanian guy.
Crazy restaurateur I ever met. So I worked for him. I love the guy, but some people behave, some people don't behave. There's always price for anything you do. So Mr. Nello was my first real boss that I worked for him 8 years, 2002, 2010, until I got fired. So
he fired you?
It wasn't him. Nello lost the business, the Greek guy. Okay. And the Greek man, we could never get good along. He asked me if I want to be on his side or Nello. And I was loyal to Nello. I said, it's never going to change. Even you pay me $0, it's never going to change. Even you pay me $1 million, it's not going to change. And he said that, then I'm going to fire you one day and watch me. Which he was working on it. And I'll tell that story later. But then Nello was open in the Hamptons. Everyone was talking about it. Even the restaurant that I was working at 75 Main, people were like, oh, Nello is open. And Nello is a big deal. It was one of the probably the most hottest restaurant in New York City. And everyone was excited that Nello was open in the Hamptons. So I walked in one day and Nello's, actually now it's my restaurant, Blue Mar. And Nello was sitting on the left corner under the tree, red face, was drunk as hell, 12 noon. I scream at me like, hello, what are you doing over here? I'm like, I was looking for a manager. I was like, come over here, no manager at this time. I had a white shirt and khaki pant. I looked really nice. I went to take a break. I told the manager, I'm gonna change and go to this restaurant, make sure I look okay. And manager told me I was only allowed to get 15 minutes break. So I went to Nello, and it was, he invited me to his table. He was drinking Domainat Rosé, beautiful bottle. I never know what that is. And it looks like perfume cologne for me. And Nello is like, where are you from? And we're talking, and I told him my life story. I said, I only have 15 minutes, but this was actually very important for him. After we got friendly, he said, I hired you because you told me something very important. So I was a dishwasher at 75 Main, as you know. I told Nello, I only have 15 minutes today. I have to go back, wash my dishes. And Nello turns around himself and like, he's telling me he's a dishwasher. He has to go back. He's responsible to wash his dishes. But I was very responsible. I told him I only have 15 minutes for him. I'll come back another time, we'll talk. But he told his wife, I want this guy. He is real deal. We didn't know each other very much. So, and then I also, when I told him I was Turkish, he got complete meltdown. It's like, my wife is Turkish. I love Turkish people. All my friends, all my people who work for me, they're all Turkish. He wouldn't leave me alone. He wouldn't let me go. I said, now I have to leave. I promised 15 minutes. I promised I'm going to come back. So I went back to my job. I took my clothes off, put my... Nello comes, passed by 75 Main, chasing me. And then the guy told me, the manager, there's some drunk guy outside, with red face, looking for you. I'm like, that's Nello. I came out with my dirty...
Not so nice clothes.
my dirty apron that they were washing dishes is disgusting. I came up there, I'm like, Mr. Nello, Mr. Nello. Everyone's like, is that Nello? I'm like, yeah, that's Nello. Everyone's trying to get a job. They were like, I would try to be nice to him. I'm like, I'm outside. He was like, come over. He started like, my wife wants to talk to you. I'm like, can I come up and finish my shift at 4 o'clock? It's like, listen, I'm going to make you best mate ready in Madison. I had no clue what mate ready means back then. I'm like, what is this guy talking about, a mate ready? I had no clue it was kind of manager. And I went back to wash my dishes. 4 o'clock, I finished. I went to Nello's. His wife shows up, comes in. Beautiful lady, very nice lady. Turkish lady. We start talking about it. And it was very actually helpful because my English wasn't that great. Nello's English wasn't great either. We were just trying to understand each other. And we talk about it hours and hours until 2, 3 o'clock. And same day, Nello bought me dinner. He cooked actually for us. And his wife, we became a friend. He said, you're hired. Now you're going to be my right-hand man here. And he had a general manager, which I respect him very much. Andre, a French guy, very, very knowledgeable in the restaurant business, 68-year-old man. I started working with him, and Nello told him, make sure to teach him everything. I want him to be manager in Madison Avenue too. Everything was going so well, and Nello hired me. I told the 75 Main no more. Money was double and better position and better staff. He offered me a lot of good things. It was getting point that I want to be. And I worked for him all summer. But the worst thing he did, when I got into all the business, learning everything very quickly, he fired that general manager that I was learning from. Because the guy was so professional. He wouldn't take more than 150 reservations on Friday, 200 on Saturday. So he was making sure he gets enough service, people gets a good service, like Nello's standard.
I see.
So when I came to Nello, it was kind of my fault. I said, listen, Nello, this manager is useless. This guy is just not taking a reservation. He's giving hard time to people. The hostess, even he screamed at me, I was taking more reservation. We can't run this business with this guy. You got to talk to him. 1 week, we threw him out. I need to make money. I can't have the good service. This is the Hamptons. People here for fun. We don't need a high-end top restaurant in the Hamptons. We want to get people in the door. Then he put me in charge of the whole place. I started being a manager that I had no clue about it. I did a great job all summer. Turned the place out really good. I mean, we used to do thousands cover on the Fridays and Saturdays. We're killing it, basically. Nello was having a good time and all. Finished the summer. The winter I did LA, Miami, and Las Vegas, those three. And then Nello called me, I think it was in April. It's like, we're opening the place. I want you to come immediately. So I came back to New York City and started working for Nello full time. We did summer in the Hamptons, winter in the city, became very close with him. But 2010, Nello was having financial problems. He had one person, one hotel, another person, another hotel, third person, another hotel, and wife on the Center Park South. His rent plus hotels was around $250,000 a month.
$250,000?
Yeah, a month. But the lady was staying in the Four Seasons, the penthouse. Another lady, I mean, it was really expensive. Like, I mean, and I respect him with everything, but this time I was kind of going against him. I didn't want to pay all those hotels. I didn't want to, this cannot happen. We have to pay the bills for fisherman. We have to pay the producer. We have to, how are we going to run this restaurant? I was very involved with. I was his more than right-hand man. I was the one running the whole show. Mr. Nello will be drinking all day long, 10 a.m. till 4 a.m. next day. I wasn't going any good direction, so I was kind of getting nervous. And then we got in trouble with state. We got in trouble with the landlord. So state came, shut down the restaurant. Nello and I, only two of us, we went to the Plaza Athena. I never forget that day. It was the first time we got shut down. After Nello's 20-year or something business, 18-year. And his aunt was coming. I mean, we went to the Plaza Athena. He ordered his beer. I ordered my cappuccino. I sit down. Nello started crying that he's losing everything. He has no way to go. He has no money. He's not gonna survive. So I'm like, Nello, how much money do we need? He was like, we have to pay state $150,000 today.
800.
150,000. But there was only one payment. He owed $1 million something, but he made a payment plan, but he never paid it. So then state came shut down. At Nello, I landed money. So I said, Nello, he was crying like baby, I swear. And the Plaza Athena, we're like sitting, he's having beer and started crying like baby, strong. Like all the people knows us. They're like, is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, don't, just leave us alone. So they gave us corner place that no one can see because people know Nello.
Yeah, of course.
And I said, okay, let me go to my bank. I only know two places when I work for Nello. I work 20 hours a day. Nello's and 64 Citibank. From Nello's Citibank, that's all I knew, and nothing else. I didn't know the next door, and they didn't know anything else except those two places. And I used to live at Nello's in kitchen. That was it, nothing else.
How old were you?
I was 20, back then 20, no, I was around 30. When I started Nello, 21.
And then in 2010?
2010,
when it happened?
I was around 30.
About 30.
So Mr. Nello said this much money we needed. I went to bank, cut the check, made out to IRS, went to Kew Garden, took a taxi, made that an hour. I called Nello. I said, open the restaurant. Take that stupid sign at the door. They put the big sign, seized by IRS. I said, take that sign off, open the restaurant, we're all set. I paid it. He cried and all. So I took taxi, came back. Nello was hugging me, all over me, crying, like, you saved my life, you saved my restaurant. So we're in the business. 2 weeks later, we got one more time shut down. This time, Marshall came in, the highest police in America. Marshall came in, the landlord is shutting us down. He hasn't paid his rent. But this one was way too bigger than the IRS. So I'm like, Nello, I don't have that much money left. I only have 150 left that I made it for 10 years with you and all. He said, give me that money. I'll promise you I'll give you 6% interest. I'll pay you back as soon as possible. I cut the check for Mr. Landlord. We opened the restaurant again. That was it. And then we were getting phone calls every day from IRS. We're getting mails from IRS because the next payment was due. Didn't have money. So now Nello started looking for everywhere to get investor. So he couldn't find any investor. I found one of the very reasonable guy. He was gonna give us $2 million, pay the state, pay the landlord, clear up, move forward clean. And the guy loved Nello's business and loved Nello's. Whole thing was going so well. We got the contract, put different language. What we spoke, he did not add in all those. He did on his own.
He changed the contract.
He changed all contract. We sent it to this guy to sign it and give it give me the check, $2 million. He read it, he said, Zach, this is not what we spoke. I'm not doing, this guy's a crook, he's stealing, look what he says. I look at it, I called Nello, I said, why did you change it? Why you didn't just give me the one that I gave you? He wrote it, this is the contract, we're gonna do it. He's gonna give me the check. I was gonna pick up the check and come back. He was like, oh no, mistake. I came back, he gave me the contract, he signed it. I went back to him, he said, no, I'm sorry, I'm not doing it. So we lost the best option. Then he had this Greek guy who lives at 63rd and Madison, who used to come Nello's very often. And Nello's general manager back then, it was a Greek guy. He was very close friend with him. So he called him in. He comes in, he took over the major of the restaurant. And I read the first contract with the Greek guy. I told Nello, this is garbage.
Don't sign it.
You don't want to sign this one. Basically, it says Nello is not allowed to hire people. Nello is not fire people. Nello is not allowed to drink free wine. Nello is not allowed to touch the register. It was basically cut everything. I said, do you want to sign it? And he was drunk as hell. He said, burned the contract in the middle of the restaurant, called this guy, they so bad language, like 3 o'clock in the morning. Called him like, you can't even imagine. The next day, he wakes up and all the Greek guy is gone now, and we're looking for more help. We couldn't find anyone. And he went back to this general manager and told him to call this guy.
The Greek
guy. The Greek guy comes in, he changed the entire contract, made it 10 times worse. Then he came in, he signed it, he didn't have an option anymore. Then first meeting finished, he was the official owner. And he told me one thing, he said, you have 2 options, either you're gonna be on my side or you're gonna be out from this place. I said, I'm loyal. And when you're the boss, I'm gonna stick with my friend. I walked out, basically I was making some money from Nello. And then he cut my salaries, my shifts, my everything like. Then I wasn't even manager anymore. I became a waiter. And then I heard he was gonna put me in the kitchen as a runner. So basically he was trying to get rid of me, which no, any way possible. And I play with him, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna, until he fires me. One day, Nello and him sitting in the front, you know how the Nello sits on the wide window?
Yeah.
On the end, 2 tables next to you, they sitting next to each other, next couple. Having a couple bottle of water and wines and all stuff. So I walked in. Mr. Marcos said, there was a guy named Mario, big fat Romanian.
Yeah, I know Mario, yes.
He said like this, I was by the phone and said, tell that no longer in my restaurant. I said, Mr. Marcos, I heard. So I was coming close to him, shake hand and leave. So I walked out, I turned around, I said, Mr. Nello, you're laughing, but you'll be the next. And he grabs the bottle, the Pellegrino, throws on the Madison Avenue, and then a pana behind me to hit me. Gets up, like, screaming at me, I own this place, what do you think that is? And like, you'll see Mr. Nello's. 6 years later, so I got fired, and I was very confident, but I got upset one thing. I gave this guy my everything. I didn't deserve to get fired. I deserve to be protected. I was sleeping upstairs in the kitchen. That was the only place I was sleeping. I didn't have even home. So I got fired, but now it's, of course, now I speak English. I had some money, but now I have no money. I went back to 10 years now. I lost all my 10 years. Everything went for nothing. The one thing that I was happy about it, I know the business now.
And what did you do next?
I rent a car, and Nello's driver, he knew me. Every night when I closed Nello's, I used to go on 61 on Park Avenue, Lowe's Hotel, sit down, nice, comfortable lobby, have a coffee and chat with the guys there. We became very close, and it was my daily thing. Because I have no place. I go upstairs in the kitchen and sleep. There's nothing. You sleep in basically in the flour all over your face and everything. So you have no place there. Only clean place is a little bathroom, which I kept it clean. All my suits are there. So I'm like, okay, I go there. And I was kind of upset. All the guys were like, oh, what happened? What's wrong? Why you're upset? Why you came early today? So this is it, I got fired. And they were like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll talk to the manager, we'll get your job here. It's union, you'll be very happy. I text Nello's driver. I said, Branko, please, the white-haired guy. I said, please tell Mr. Nello, not Thomas, I'm going to Hamptons. I have to take my stuff at the restaurant. He said, don't worry about it, just go. He was crying, actually. He was one of my close friends. They all know that I didn't deserve to get fired, but it is what it is. So I went to the Hamptons, and I called another manager because Branko didn't want to tell them. So I went to the Hamptons and to the garage. Actually, I was living in the garage. Nello wouldn't give me room up there or anything. I was living in the garage. I opened the garage, get my suitcase, put all my suit, shoes and everything in it. And I had something in the office. I had to walk in the restaurant. I walk in the office, and so basically I have no place to go. I left all of my suitcase and everything there. I'm like, let me go to have a lunch at 75 Main. Maybe the owner is there. I'll ask her to give me a job. I walked down to Main Street, and there was a little piece of paper like this big saying that under construction, we will be open in summer. I look in the window, the tables are set up, the glasses on the table, napkins on the table. I'm like, let me text her, it doesn't seem under construction. So I text her, hey, this is your son, do you remember me? But the lady, when I left, she was heartbroken. She knew how hard I worked for her. She knew how much I was honest for her. Whoever was stealing, I was telling her every night. This person still this person void this people still case of one. I was like, I became a snake at 75 Main. People were like, hated me. All the workers are hated me. They knew I was the one telling everything to the owner. So she called me right away. She said, I can't believe you're alive. You're calling me, you're texting me. 6-7 hours on the same day, I was on the phone with her. I convinced her to give me the space as an owner. I said, listen, and she was, God bless her, but she's died. She had a cancer. She had a pancreatic cancer. She had a liver cancer. She said she doesn't know if she's going to live 2-3 years. So she said, you know what, she'll be interested to sell the place. She said she doesn't want a headache anymore. And she said, you're the only one deserve this place. She had the offers from the Tao Group. She had the offer from Serafina.
Really?
She had the offer from John Luke, some guy, $1 million cash, you know? I said, I won't be able to, any of those offers, I cannot even close. I can offer you this much, $495,000 I offer her. She said, I will pay in 3 years if you give me the chance. I promise I'm gonna pay you. First, I can give you something. I don't have any money. I'm just gonna borrow to open the place, put tables and chairs and paint it and all stuff. She was okay with it. I made her fly to New York. My attorney and myself, we met her in the airport, Islip Airport, and we signed all the paper, and I became overnight owner of the restaurant. And I'm like, I walk in this building actually, at 75 Main. I go upstairs, there's people living there. I'm like, guys,
Out.
this is my restaurant. I'm like, listen, I swear I just bought this place. Just get out of here. He wouldn't believe. He started calling the owner. She wouldn't talk to him. He was a bad person, she said. And then his girlfriend or his wife was there. Another room, there's also some Spanish people living in the back there. So I walked in, Spanish people was okay, no problem, amigo, they out. But this guy whose father used to own the building, he wouldn't leave. He said, no, I'm not gonna leave until I see your lease. I said, okay, stay tonight, I'm not gonna kick you out. I went to my attorney, I had a rental car, I said, listen, I need that lease immediately. I want her to sign it and myself, and we faxed to her, she faxed back. I had the lease and I came back. The whole lease, I showed them, I said, you gotta leave. I own this place. I became a big success, big news all over the New York. Zach Erdem, Nello's right-hand man, bought 75 Main. It was huge success overnight.
That was in 2010.
Right after I got fired. And then I got threat messages, Nello on the one side, Thomas on the other side. They were just going so hard, trying to get me back to the restaurant. Thomas was like, I'm gonna give you $300,000 tomorrow. Leave that place, come back to work. It was like all over. I refused, blocked them. And then all of a sudden I seen different people come into the restaurant, muscle guys and all.
Here in the Hamptons?
In the Hamptons, sent it by Mr. Makos and Nellos and all. I'm like, listen guys, I only have one life. I came here for my dreams. I'm not gonna give up. We locked the doors, closed the windows, under new ownership, big sign all over the windows. I got the painter, I got all the people that I know, beg the people, the fishermen. I said, listen, I'm gonna buy fish from you rest of my life. Give me money, give me credit. Meat guy same, the drilling guy same, and everyone. They all believe in me.
They believed you.
They believe in me. The guys were like, okay.
The same guys you were working with in New York?
I still work with them. And all those things made the whole place so successful. When I opened the door, it was a line to Golden Pear and all over. The most successful restaurant. The people hated Nello. They all joined my restaurant, and then it became, I was used to put my suit, tie, and walk in the restaurant as an owner. It was just such an incredible feeling. Like, you're like in April making $800 a week. Now mid-July, you have like 1.5 million in your bank account. That feeling, I went across the street. There's a nice bench there. I sit down, cry. I cried. I couldn't believe it that this was happening in my life. I'm like, God, I hope this is not a dream. I'm never gonna wake up if it's a dream. It was a great feeling. Like, imagine like you're making $800 a week, the salary in the restaurant. Thank God that I got fired. And a couple months later, you've seen your bank account. You have 1.5 million. I never seen that many zero in my account. I mean, seriously, like, I'm like, great. I get up and I write the amount of money that I owe this lady. I called her immediately. And you gave her the money? I said, listen, I promised I was going to pay you in 3 years, but I think in 3 weeks is a good time to pay you back. Give her the money, down with it, then rest is story. Sky is my limit.
Then what did you do? Did you expand in the Hamptons with Blumar and here?
I bought Nello. Well, look, the reason I bought Nello's, so as you know, I got fired there. And it was, for me, it was kind of revenge. But I'm not a fighter, like physical fighter. I'll take my revenge with different way. So I was chasing that place. 75 million was doing extremely well, and I was investing. I mean, that's how I met Simona. I was my financial advisor. You know, she was helping me to get the real estate and everything else. And investing all my money, like I learned from Nello, not to drink, I never drink, by the way, in my life. Never smoke, never do anything for my, like, bad in my body.
Yeah, so we was only 2 people drinking tea on 25
I was still drinking tea only here.
Okay, 20 years later, you're right.
So I basically, whole story is so big, like I don't know what, like I can't tell you all other stories, but
no, but I remember when you bought the 75 Nello in the Hamptons. Wow, was one of the best days because you called me and says, guess what, I bought Nello.
Yeah, but there was the revenge. So, you know, as I said, I'm not a fighter. So I was chasing that place. And then I found out they were about to give up. 6 years, I bought 2016 that place. So I'm like, you know what, this is my time. I never spoke with Mr. Marcos. I never spoke with Nello after they threw me out and all bad management. And this time I got a call from Nello's partner saying that, I know you love that location. I know you want that place very bad. Let's sit down as a gentleman, have a coffee. I said, I will not have a coffee with you, but I would like to know the consequence. I'll have my attorney to call you. Get my attorney to involved with this and deal and all thing. I said, okay, this is our offer. He wants it. We'll give him $500,000 cash, get him out from the building. He accepted. We signed the lease. And then I was the happiest one because I basically bought the place and fired these 2 idiots out of the building. Not just that I wanted, I just wanted to take that place, get them out from the building. Then the Hamptons, not just the building. So which I did. 2016, I bought the place and I fired them back. 6 years ago, they fired me on their restaurant. Now I fired them on their own restaurant to buy in the place. So there was a big, like, feeling was great, for a big moment for me to just, I got so hurt from these two, and Nello and Thomas, but then God is great, and I came back, and 6 years later, I bought a whole place. I built up a nice hotel on the side, and then beautiful nightclub in the back.
And you had another nightclub.
That was another one. That
was the most amazing nightclub in the Hamptons.
That was one of the probably the most crazy move I made it. So I was opening the restaurant at Nello's, opening another hotel, another nightclub, and then this place came onto my attention. So I have energy. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Like same at this places that in Greenport now. The guy came in and was like, I know you're gonna say no, but can you come see it? I came see it. I'm like, sign the lease. I mean, this is how I am. Like tomorrow I have a meeting with this guys who owns Long Beach, big property. There's 404 units above it, ocean front. 20,000 people walks by on the boardwalk.
Boardwalk.
Beautiful 6,000 square feet. They want to give me a restaurant. So we have a meeting tomorrow. I first denied it, but they keep pushing it. So they want you to be there. So you know what? This is my offer. If you give me this, I will come in. So basically now they accepted most of the stuff that I brought up. I bought 2 Montauk places, but they didn't have a liquor license.
Okay.
Then back then I was waiting for their liquor license, and these 2 came on my attention. I took these 2 and I gave up on those. I said, you know what, that's Montauk. Look, I will still go to Montauk anytime I want to, but there was 2 beautiful locations that I was getting on the same time. And the liquor license is a big deal on this business. It's your everything.
I know.
Like without liquor license, you don't want to open a restaurant. There's no reason to. I can never have a restaurant without alcohol. It's the key. So one of the locations didn't have a liquor license, and I know that place lost the license. And once you lose the license, it's so painful to get it back.
Of course.
Cost money, it's the time. Actually, more the money, it's okay, you can probably come up with it. But the timing is probably the one that you're never going to get it on time. So I was waiting for those until the landlord says, yes, we have the license. I was going to be like, okay, then there's 2. There's hotel, the restaurant, other side, cross street. They came up my attention. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I will just take these 2 places and build out.
When did you take them?
This I took in last March.
Last March, okay. So it's quite new, relatively new still.
Yeah, it's very new. I'm new on this area. I love it. The Greenport is great. I mean, we should walk around, and it's a beautiful place. It's a small fishing town. The water is all around. It's gorgeous, and historical place. Comes from the 1600. So some houses are here. You might see it's from the 1800s, 1600s. It's quite beautiful place, and summertime, as like same in the Hamptons, gets very crowded. Winter it gets slow. I mean
But you still keep them open or not?
The hotel, yes. The restaurants are. I'm gonna close
for the winter.
For the winter, but on end of March and April, I'll keep all the restaurants. I'm gonna have a cafeteria here, like nice kind of pastry. I hired the best chef in Europe. He does incredible desserts and all. So we're gonna have all those small restaurants.
I'll be here weekly then.
Remember that guy?
Yes.
He's one of the most talented pastry chefs.
So
2 Michelin star he has on
the
pastry.
Really?
Yeah, he's
What's his name?
Zach Erdem. He's a Turkish guy.
Turkish.
Works all over the Turkey, best places in St. Regis, Ritz-Carlton, and all those other high-end hotels. And he goes all over the Europe, does the judgment for those competitions. He's a judge as well, and it's a great guy. So it's going to be really nice to have some talented people. Will be good for the village too. My hotel will probably going to be the best place for it. And the restaurant across the street has 120 seats. It's more patio seating, beautiful outside seating, inside seating as well. But summer is the main. Yeah, inside, of course. Is outside.
So how would you two? I will go back to Simona. How would you define this moment in your life? After all the struggle, what makes you happy right now? And do you think you're doing well? Do you want to do more?
First of all, I want to say thank God for everything that happened in my life. Definitely number 1 wish in my list is to spend time with my son. Second one, it's of course I want to be healthy. And
I'm married. We need a husband for this lady.
Yes, anyone who's watching, please.
Me and him, we have a deal.
We need to get a husband.
Can you make public our
lady.
deal? We said that if we reach 75 and we're not married, we're going to get married.
Okay.
At 75.
So that's the silver lining on the horizon.
Yes. We are born also in the same day and month. So, you know, it's the beauty is life that if you can sit next to the same people 20 years later and say, what a nice journey and what a nice experience we had, separated, also we had a lot of projects together, and it's so nice that you can combine, you know, a good quality friend with an amazing business person. And since we met, our story is very similar. That's why probably we understand each other very well. And also we're trying to help each other in many different occasions, even with the real estate. You know, I was so obsessed with real estate all the time when I see Zach, and I had the house next to his restaurant, and obviously I was there all the time, and he was such a gentleman. He all the time treated my family so like a real family. He never wanted to take a check from us. My mother loves him, and all the time I was bothering him. You gotta buy a house, you gotta buy something, you gotta buy real estate.
I love Florida. I go to Florida very often. And I was looking for this deal, and I'm like, let me send it to Simona. She has better option, better eye and all. I sent her the listing. Said, I'm buying this. What do you think? She comes up, like, why are you buying that? Look at that, it's 2 floors above. There's a penthouse. Why don't you buy that? It's a much better deal.
When he sent me the contract, I was so busy. But I said, Zach, I cannot. So I postponed everything, and I went in a property shock report. And I find out that it's a foreclosure at a penthouse, cheaper, maybe 100 or 150,000 cheaper, and renovated the place. So I called Zach, oh my God, you gotta cancel the contract right now.
I did.
Yeah, you gotta, I find you something else cheaper and renovated, and he did.
That was a great buy. I still have the place.
Yeah.
I still have that.
And what about the other time? My brother finds his deal, and I was short in cash, and my brother said, we gotta close in 2 days. It was a great 1 apartment building in Manhattan. Very inexpensive. I called Zach. I said, Zach, listen, do you have money? He says, yeah. I said, you need to buy this place. He said, no problem. I'm coming right now. He didn't ask where it is. I said to my brother, Zach is buying. But my brother said, but he didn't see it. I said, don't worry, he's trust me.
I didn't see it. I was like, she saw it. I'm okay with it.
Zach said, are you sure? It's positive. Okay, I'm coming right now. So here it is, Zach coming there, sign the paper. He didn't know what it is or he didn't see it.
I had no clue. But
no.
Look, trust is very important for me.
It is.
If Simona says it's good deal, best deal, great deal, I will just go for it. I don't need to see it. I'm not gonna live it. I'm just gonna invest and just rent it, and it has been rented since I bought it. I never stayed there.
Which means it's a really good property.
It's a good property. It's a good neighborhood. It's an Upper East Side and a very quiet area, and it's a great place to just like stay by yourself, and it makes sense. And it's been there for, I think it was 2014. I bought it. It's been 10 years, and
you never regret
I never
it.
even go see it.
Yeah.
Her brother is just the one that runs it and rents it out and everything else.
This is a unique example of how come 2 people who are not related, coming from different backgrounds.
Yeah, but with a similar background in terms of, you know, journey and history of life.
Or let's say different religions, right? Okay.
Yeah, but, you know.
That is a good example of how 2 people can understand each other.
And trust each other.
Help each other, trust each other, with no second agenda, right? So that, I think, it's a great concept that
You gotta tell them
we
how
have
we met.
to promote.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have to tell me how you met.
Okay, who is starting?
So I work at Nando's. Everyone knows. I had this crazy spiky hair.
No, let me start the story,
Go for
because
it.
I am there and I saw this new guy, and you know, I could not eat. I could not concentrate because I keep looking at his hair. His hair had 100 spiky stuff.
Like all over.
Yes.
All over.
But you know, like so perfectly done. So by the end, I said, okay, I have to ask him. I said, excuse me. I said, how many hours do you spend doing your hair? And he's laughing. He says, like an hour in every day. And I started calculating. An hour a day is like 30 hours a month. I said, wow, this is unbelievable. That was the first time when I met him.
And then the major one was...
The major one, I started. And I have some clients. I closed a big deal with somebody from Texas in oil business, and we had to celebrate it. So I had somebody work with me, and he had his accountant, and let's go at Nello, the most famous place in Madison Avenue. We go at Nello, and he is the person there in charge.
So what did you do?
With this guy, but then also the table was really nice and everything. Also, the Florida governor joined them as well. So there was a guy. There was basically kind of like, you know, Simona is like big deal, like one of the big socialites in New York City, and walks on Madison Avenue. Will be a lot of people knows her. Will be like dying to be with her. She's like all, you know, $1 million lady and all. So this guy that she came with was like, get me the most expensive wine that you have. I'm like, I found my chicken now. I'm gonna get all the eggs from this guy now. Like, all right, Simona doesn't drink. You cannot say no this wine. So I get the most expensive wine downstairs. They got a couple bottles. The bill comes up $14,000, and I give it to this guy. I'm like, money's coming. Waiting for this guy.
I was ready to kill Zach. I get up and I was going to Zach. I said, you cannot do this to me.
Simona got a little mad. It's like, because the bill was so high. I'm like, how can you do to my client? I'm like, listen, you eating dinner with Simona, most beautiful woman in Madison Avenue. That's the cost. And you're at Nello's. And you're sitting with the governor of Florida.
Did he say anything? Did he
no,
comment?
I never heard anything. He just signed it. I got $2,000 tip. And I'm like, wow, $2,000 tip. That was it. This became my favorite person. And then they usually come to lunch and stuff at Nello's, and we got more, friendly and everything else until I got fired and opened my own places, and she bought a house.
Then I still come in every day to you.
You still come every day, and then she bought a house in New Hampton. Always, keep in touch. Like, she needed something that I was always there. She goes to Palm Beach. She has a house there and everywhere, in other places. So. Friendship, I think, is very important. Like, as
most
20
important.
years probably we're friends.
20 years, yeah.
20 years.
20 plus
Wow.
years. It's very rare. In America, people is all focus on work and work and work, and they go
The
home,
material things.
and then get couple beers or stop drinking, go home, and this is how their life actually, to be honest. But the creative people has different stuff, different style to work on it. Like, I never drink. I never do any, like what Nello was doing, all the drugs and stuff. I never smoke any. I focus on how I grow up, how am I going to make my next day better than today. Look, having 200 plus employees is not easy. I was a shepherd for 200 animals. Coming to America, being on streets, growing up, getting on your feet, and having your name all over. You go to Hamptons, like New York Times had a really nice article about me, big article saying that if you want to go to Hamptons, you have to know this guy. It's basically my name. I was proud of myself. I mean, seriously, if you know who I am, where I came from, it will make sense for you. But just like, you have so many powerful people there. You have so many billionaires, millionaires living next to your door. You're never going to see their name anywhere. But the little guy, Zach, you're going to see them every day. Now I have the reality show on HBO Max. My life more colorful now. We filmed 3 seasons now. First season on HBO Max now. Second, we filmed it. It's gonna be aired on January 20, and third season will be July 2024. While we're gonna film at the 4th season on the coming July.
That's a funny story. I'm crossing the street in Manhattan, going to see a client, and a bus just almost ran me over. And I see Zach picture of the show, and I took a picture. I said, Zach, look, I almost got hit by the bus.
That was actually the fun part. They spent so much money on advertising. They put my face every bus in New York City, all over the billboards in LA, Chicago, DC, all over
Metro
the
station,
bus
You see Zach everywhere.
Crazy. It became a really success, and I was very happy about it. I mean, imagine myself where I came from.
Exactly.
But it's so important. You never forget that.
You must not. You must.
You never forget where you came from. Like I told you, some friends are coming up in here to the restaurant. It's like balloon. Whoop, goes into hell.
You have to be aware.
It's be very constancy. Like it's so important. It's a key to your products. You're like being in the restaurant business, you can't just, if I don't eat something in my restaurant, I won't serve to my customer. I fired so many of my friends or kids that rich kids work for my restaurant because their servers was terrible. They were not qualified to serve my guests what they were looking for, what they were paying for. If you come to my restaurant, I want you to get the best experience possible. Why do you come to my restaurant? Service, food, and everything has to be perfect. Myself, I have to be there, greet you, and personally, that's very important too.
The personal touch.
Personal touch is the key. A lot of people in this business, when they get the money, they'll be sitting back in the corner, drinking, having all the ladies around it. I never do that. I sit down only people that I know, that as a guest, 1 or 2 eyes, have a meal, that will be it. The rest, I'm on top of my game. Work, make sure the coffee comes up hot, make sure the food comes up nice, the plated, and everything else. Like every customer walks in their restaurant is more important than anything else for me. I want to make sure they live same way that they expected. Sometimes it's unfortunate, of course, you get served 1,500 people a day.
It happens.
It happens. The salmon comes up raw, or flamingo comes non-cooked. It happens. We're not perfect, but we try to make it the right for people who comes to my restaurants or hotel or the clubs.
That's a very good philosophy, and hearing what Zach had to say, how he keeps the trust of the customers, of everyone who goes to his places. How do you keep the trust? Because you also work with some of the richest and most influential people in America for real estate, for insurance. How do you keep their trust? And how do you keep them in a tight relationship, engaged? Yeah. Yes.
Well, first, number one, you gotta you gotta do what you say.
Exactly.
And that is very important. So I'm very famous. If my client call me, in the next 5 minutes, I solve the problem immediately. Second is knowledge, because it doesn't matter what nationality you are, what gender you are, by the end comes down to knowledge and numbers. So always I was, I wanted to be sure that my client has the best service and also the best product. Because if it doesn't make money in the long run, I'll lose my client.
Of course.
Or if it's not protected the way I was supposed to. And also, I love helping people. I love to help them build their financial, future security for that. And I just study very well my client and his needs to be sure that the plan what I propose will fit his needs for now and for the future. Also, I build a relationship with these people.
Very important.
Personal, yeah.
Personal,
I've seen you all the time in Nellos bring your client to the lunch and dinners and all stuff.
I did, you gotta give in order to
get trust.
Yeah.
So
it's a two-way street.
Two-way street, yes.
Yep.
But it's very important when you see that people, I should not say spend money, but people give you their time. And also, like all the ways I pay for my clients when I go somewhere, I send them gifts for Christmas, for their kids' birthday, because they appreciate it, and it's
so true.
They appreciate it, and then they will start liking you, and then they will start, Simona, I see it not only because she sold the policy and it's gone, this happened to me. I buy an insurance myself for my car. I never heard from the agent. I have to call him 10 times to answer one. So, and I build up this relationship with people, and but that takes a lot of time. You gotta be very organized. If you have, let's say, 2,000 clients, you gotta make time for each of them to make him special. Sometimes you don't have a life. Sometimes you are so transported to your clients, and you want to be sure that you don't miss a small detail who can be hurtful for your client. So it's not easy, it's, I spend most of my life trying to combine my family, my business, and, my life. It's not easy, you gotta balance everything, you gotta be very organized, and also you have to have the personality to match.
Of course.
Yeah.
If you don't like people,
no,
it's not for you.
Clients are really sometimes like big athletes and all kind of like big rappers and all kind of, I know some of those people on TVs and stuff, but those people are really hard to deal with it. They have money, but they have no, I don't want to call it brainless, but they're really difficult to deal with it. That's like, they have money, they think they're the god. They can do anything they want, but it doesn't work. Dealing with those people sometimes is really painful too. And she does really good on that. She has the personality that she has melts their heart. She's a pretty lady too at the same time, but makes them to come down and to get what they really looking for. Like same thing mine. 10 years ago, you gave me the insurance, you sold me.
Yeah.
And like last year, I forgot the payment. I'm busy, man, I got a phone call from him. Why you didn't pay your bill? I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't pay my bill. I'm like, yes, look, you haven't paid your bill. Like, all right, I'll pay for it.
I do that all the time.
I'm like, still 10 years? Like, seriously, 10 years passed, but she still follows and
she still follows everything.
How fast I saw the problem when you need letters from me and proof of
when I buy my building at 75, it's a big deal, $10 million building.
Wow.
So buying this building, 2020, the bank needs the information, bank needs this. Then in the end, it came up, they needed life insurance for myself. I'm like, I don't have that. Then I realized it. This woman gave me life 10 years ago. I'm like, here it is, I have in the cash there, like $1 million cash. I'm like, here. They were like, whoa, this is great. They all said, let's go close the deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, it made a difference.
It made such a big difference. I had no clue. 10 years ago, I signed up something. I had no clue it's going to help me in the future to buy more.
And look what
he had a lot of money in it, but he was so nice. He said, Simona, you gotta solve this. He put me together with a guy. Goodbye now. You too. You gotta get me the building. So I got stuck with this guy.
75 million is like one of the, I will say actually one of the top real estate in
It's legendary.
It is the top, not one of the top.
It's like you have to be lucky to have that building. My landlord, it will never sell. But the COVID hit him so hard in the city, he started losing his places and all.
So he had to sell
money desperately. And I came up, then whole paperwork get together and to buy my building. Then it's like the feeling is great. You started as a dishwasher.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
Now you own the building.
It must
like
be
12 million.
Yeah, it must be dizzying. It's dizzying to look back.
Like sometimes it's like I feel like I'm in a dream. Yeah. But I always say that, God, if it's a dream, don't wake me up. It still like gives me goosebumps anytime I sit down that bench. That I never forget when I called this lady. I said, I'm getting your money. She said, are you kidding me? I'm like, no.
After 3 weeks.
Check. After when I was supposed to pay it in
3 years, and you paid in.
I paid her in the same summer. Before even mid-July, I paid her
everything.
Everything, and then done with it. It was like, she cried it years probably. Then she died on 2 years after I bought it. She probably didn't enjoy the money, but she had 2 kids.
I think she was happy that you got the place.
She said, look, she could sell it very large number to some other people, but she knew how much I tried so hard to work for her. I was so honest. She said, I know the reason that it's 75 million. She gave me the place that they keep the legacy. The building was 75 million when I walked in. That was the place to keep me up. There was a place even they give me a job as a dishwasher. It was the first job I got in America after 5-6 months being on streets and Central Parks and all, sleeping in the car, sleeping in the trailers and all kind of stuff. That someone gives you a little.
That was like her baby, and she feel very good to give this baby to you.
Yeah. She trusted you with her baby.
Yeah, that's it.
Because she knew I wasn't cheating, I wasn't bullshitting, I was just keep telling her truth every night. When you void something, the void goes back to the kitchen. So when you void from the front house, the void goes to the kitchen. And I was in the back in the kitchen washing dishes. I heard the void coming. I grab all the ticket before the manager comes in. I hide them and send it to give it to the owner next. There was like $300-400 void comes in. It's all cash. Manager was still in that. Then someone will grab the case of wine, going from the back door, which I was a dishwasher. I seen everything there. I'm like, listen, this guy just took a case of wine at 6 o'clock. Another woman came in, take 2 bottles of rosé, and it was all stealing, everyone. And then she was like, we became very close. In America, it happens a lot. Like so many rich people, when they die, seriously, I have a lot of stories. They give
to people they trust.
They trust and they work for them like hard, and they deserve it. Like Ivana Trump give so much money on her care that she was with her 27 years. So she gave her millions when she died.
Yeah, but she deserves it.
She deserved it, yes. She spent all life with that woman.
So what do you both like most about America after being here for 20 plus years? I'll start with you, Zach. What do you like most about America?
What I don't like about America, I think it should be the question. So anybody who asks, you're probably gonna say the same thing. Like when my attorney asked me what's my will, they asked for your will. So I said, I don't have any will. If I die, everything stays in this country. I build everything here. Every dime. I came here with my 2 shirts and 2 jeans. Those 2 can go back to Turkey if they need it. But the rest
stays in America.
For over $50 million worth that I have stays in America. I told it, I said, listen, we can share that for kids. I love animals, maybe some for the American soldiers to protect this country. That's how my will is going to be. The guy was like, I'm a pro-American. You made me cry. I made my attorney cry when I said that. I want to leave everything here. What I like about this America, why I'm in front of you now.
You're right.
You watch me, you watch my success, you watch my empire. You need something that it's going to be interesting, inspire people.
Inspire people, exactly.
I hope this story will inspire all your people or people that it's going to read it or see it somewhere, somehow. I think it's a good sample. I think it's a good way to give back to this country. I am not going to steal anything. I have a mom. Maybe I will get her some nice place to live the rest of her life. That's probably much of the stuff I will bring in Turkey. The rest I'm going to be spending a lot of time in America.
Yeah, because this country is now your country.
It's my home.
Yeah,
I'm an
your
American
home,
citizen,
exactly.
like her and we all. And I didn't go to army here or in Turkey, but I helped more than probably any other people to make sure that I did my part.
You did your part. That's very, yeah. It's very emotional. I don't want to cry like your lawyer, but...
my lawyer, I swear, he still tells everybody. He was like, I have this crazy client. He made me cry, and I never heard such a story. He tells everybody. As the story goes wild.
As he should, because it's an example.
Which is, look, I feel that way.
Yeah.
I only have my mom in back there, which I love. I will make her feel comfortable, have something for her to live the rest of the life. The rest, it's going to stay here.
And you, Simona, what do you love most about America?
Okay, respect. Here, they respect the values, moral values, and work. I never saw a country where people have so much respect for work. Why? Because give you whatever your dreams, they give you back. You work, you achieve your dreams. Very simple equation. And I think the entrepreneurship in this country, it's what make this country so unique. Because people, they have competitions, they want to be better one than each other, they want to build a lot of things together. Also teamwork. Also, I never saw a teamwork more stable and more competent than here in America. And show you that if you work hard, you can achieve everything you wanted, and you can help.
Work hard, but
play
smart.
Or have smart.
Simona, my dishwasher works harder than anyone else. And the kid is still dishwasher the last 4 years. I'm like, bro, you work so hard, but you still dishwasher. He was like, I want to be like you. I'm like, listen,
smart,
I work hard, but I work smart.
True.
It's so important.
It's true,
Seriously,
you're
we all
right,
work
yes.
hard.
But you also worked
Everybody
with your
works
heart,
hard.
Zach. You also worked with your heart, which is very important. Smart and heart. And just one more question. Going back to your beginnings here, what would you say to the people that will watch this interview, the people that will read the cover story, who don't know which way to go, who are maybe, I don't know, desperate to start somewhere, or they want to have a career, but they don't know how to? What would you say to the young people, to the people that are still looking for their way?
First thing what I will say, when you go to YouTube or Google, search, there's so many crooks, so many idiots that take advantage of those poor people who just want to do something in their life. You go to online, this guy was like, oh, I got this Lamborghini, I got this, because those are the biggest losers. Don't ever go on those websites and that stuff. If you really want to be somebody, you have to choose someone that you admire. You have to choose someone that it's going to be role model for you.
And real.
And
real.
And real. And look, one more thing that I used to read so much till I get the businesses that work 20 hours, I couldn't read anymore. But the reading, it's very important too. Like these days, you have everything in your phone. You don't need anything else anywhere else. You just go on your phone, find any information you need in your life. It's so simple. Like, I didn't even know how to create companies. Back then, I didn't even know the business, 2010. What would I know about the business? I was making dollars, put in a bank. I didn't know the bank takes my money from me, gives you for 10% interest. So I'm like, why the bank does it? Why wouldn't I do it? So I do the same thing. I don't need to go to the bank. I save my money, give it to you. I was like making 10, 12% interest. That's how I get rich. So people all need is someone tell the real truth. Like those kids all over the world, they're desperate to come to America. Is it the only way to make it in your life? possible? How do you get this country? The borders are open, probably, but is it the good way to do that? Is the right way to do that? Probably not. My suggestion, people, yes, read a lot, like you've seen everything in this world. Take a role model. You have to have someone that you want to be approached the way that person did it. Follow his steps. Nothing is coming over you. Nothing is going to come to you overnight. I didn't build all my empire in the year or 24 hours or any. Every year when you wake up, you look at your financials, right? I grew 10%. I'm happy with it. As long as I don't lose money. I don't know, as long as I don't go down.
Exactly.
Even if it's 12% or 8%, it's still success.
It is.
For me, it's the grow. The numbers tells me they grow. So it's if I did the 12% better than last year, I'm happy. For people who wants to be someone, they must start on the way in the bottom. That's step by step. You don't go from 1 to 10. That easy to go do 10 to 1.
Exactly.
You go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the best way to build what you want to build in your life. That's how I build it. I never was a greedy. I never was like, I want to get this, I want to get. It will come. Once you have the base, when you have mindset is so important too. You want to think about it, something clear. You want to make sure that that's going to be good for you. It's okay to open the coffee shop, but are you into that coffee shop? Do you going to like it? Every morning, 6 o'clock, will you be able to open that coffee, serve coffee for the people? Or are you going to hate it one day because you're not going to make money, you still have to pay rent, you still have to pay insurance, the products and everything. And then you're going to lose your underwear. So best thing for you to start in the bottom, no rush. There is way too many, we have a life in front of us, ahead of us. You will get somewhere somehow. Work hard, yes, 100%. Don't work like as an idiot hard. Work smart, the step by step, go slowly. Learn. As the learning, as I think your most important income.
Learning and evolving, and Rome wasn't built in a day.
100%.
100%.
We're all aware of that. Like again, it's my friends. Like I get a lot of social media hates. Like how I can be like you, how I can make it, how am I gonna be rich? How am I? It's very simple. It's first good thing that you want to be rich. Okay, then start. What do you do tomorrow? Do you have any plan for tomorrow? I don't know what to do. So you don't have a plan. It's gonna be hard for you to. Anything I say, it's just gonna be from here to out here.
Exactly.
So it's like, you know, the biggest risk, not to taking the risk. If you take the risk in your life, I think that risk, yes, you gotta be smart. Again, I'm not pushing you to go take this, throw yourself in the ocean, catch the fish. No. So basically, the risk taking is important. But all my businesses that I have, that I own, was I able to get them without taking risk?
No.
No, there is no way that I could have the 75 million. I could never own that building. But at risk sometimes push you more. I know I have to work more. I have to pay my bills. I have to get this done. I have respond. I have 200 plus employees. I have to make these guys get payment on time and everyone else. Plan is the key. Get something in your mind. Follow someone's steps. Plan is the key. What am I going to do tomorrow morning? Do you know what you're going to do tomorrow? Most people will be like, no, I don't know what to do. Then you're basically lost in the world, in the life. Get a couple nice books. Start reading, learning something. At least, what do you want to be? At the restaurateur. So go to work in the restaurant as a dishwasher, my man. I keep telling the same thing every day. Like, it's very simple.
You have to start
you
somewhere.
You start somewhere. The action is the key. I can say a million things to you. If you don't pay attention, if you don't execute, it's worthless.
You just wait for the...
You wait for the lucky moment. That's never going to happen.
Somebody to pay your bills.
You'll be 90-year-old or 60-year-old.
Still waiting.
If it's still waiting for.
And you, Simona, what would you say?
Well, I like to emphasize it one more time what you said. No, I have, because this is a personal issue for me. I think that we live in a society where laziness becomes something in fashion. And the fact that everybody has access at a young age at the social media, Instagram, TikTok, they try to plan a fake life and they forgot to live a real life. Everybody is going there to post a picture and get 1,000 likes, and they spend 5 hours preparing these pictures and another 3 hours to see how many likes, instead to open a Netflix, look at a documentary, a success story, or some important facts what contribute to our civilization. And of course, you have to like what you do, and if you do, go for it. It's just as simple as can be. You have to have a goal or a dream, and you have to plan, you have to have a plan, and then the sky is the limit.
Thank you, guys. I like to end on this note. The sky is the limit.
Sky is the limit, yeah.